Namaste, beautiful yogis. This is a quick tutorial on knee alignment during the most common poses in yoga, such as Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Lunge. So the most important thing to always remember in yoga, in working out, even when you're lifting furniture around your house or heavy objects around your house, is to always align your joints. Always follow the natural lines of your body. So if you want to align properly in Warrior 1, let's begin actually with Lunge being the easiest pose. We're going to take Lunge pose. Here you're going to look down and make sure that your knee is pointing directly forward where your toes are pointed at. So the toes are always pointing forward. You don't want to open them here. It doesn't feel comfortable anyway. So you want the toes out forward and you want the knee in the same exact direction. That means that if your inner thighs are somewhat tight, you might be pulling in. You don't want to do that. Stay a little higher, align your knee, and keep working on just a basic yoga flow so that you can develop flexibility in your joints, in your muscles, so that you can sit a little deeper in your lunge and still properly align. The second point with Lunge and Warrior 1 and Warrior 2 is to have your knee either over your ankle, such as this, or it could be a little further back. You just don't want to overlap. This is very common in people with less flexibility in the hip flexor or quadriceps. They would bring the knee forward just to compensate for that. You're much better off just staying a little higher in your lunge and working on opening that opposite leg, opening the hip flexor, rather than going deep and putting unnecessary pressure in your knee. Same applies for Warrior 1 and Warrior 2. When you take Warrior 1, your back foot, the back heel is going to align with the front heel, or the back arch is going to align with the front heel. And here you're again going to look down and make sure that your knee is pointing directly forward and that your knee is over or behind the ankle. In Warrior 2, same, heel to arch. You're going to sink as deep as you can according to your flexibility. You do want to go as far as your body feels comfortable in. You want to go far so that you are still working on opening and stretching. I do love working on my flexibility during a standing vinyasa. I use the full range of motion in the poses. So here I'm actually stretching. Yes, I'm working and strengthening the right side of my body. I'm stretching the hamstring. I'm stretching the quadriceps here, the hip flexor, going a little deeper, opening the hip, and making sure in Warrior 2 that my knee is pointing directly forward. That will open my inner thigh as well. Stretch the hamstrings. For plie squat, same thing applies. You're only going to open your feet out as far out as your knee can go out. It's a common mistake that I see people go into a plie squat or horse stance, and they'll open the feet all the way out. The knees, of course, can go all the way out for most of us, so there is a lot of rotation and pressure in the knees. You want to go as far out as you can with your knees, sit down, and make sure that your toes are pointing in the same direction. While you're in plie, you're pressing the knees back and sitting as deep as you can. It's a challenging pose to perform, but it's very beneficial for developing the strength in your lower body and the flexibility in your lower body. For Pigeon, to protect the knees, you always want to flex your foot, so you're protecting the inner and the outer side of the knee. And you're going to have your heel close to your hip. When you're first starting off, you can even roll on top of your shin bone, and eventually when you get a little more flexible, you're going to walk your back foot back and make sure to flex your foot. It's okay, baby. Flex your foot and keep that hip down. Keep flexing the foot. If you have knee injuries, you wanna always do pigeon on your back, because pigeon would be a little challenging. And you're just gonna stay here. This is much milder on the knees. I prefer regular pigeon because it allows you to open up deeper, but if you have knee injuries, first heal and then proceed safely. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, post them below and I will answer as many of you as I can. Namaste.